This is Pete Fletcher from Around the Galaxy.
And this is ATG3.
And we are excited to tell you about Podathon 2021 taking place on November 6th, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern and running into the night, raising money for Make-A-Wish.
That's right. 15 Star Wars podcasters and YouTubers are coming together for an all-day event Wait a second, an all-day event? Are you kidding? How much are we doing?
Well, I am one of the hosts, along with Scotty J-Ro from the Bombag cast, so I'm going to be on and off all day long.
I think I'm busy that day. November 6th? Yeah, I'm having my motivator service that day.
Fine. It seems a little selfish, but fine. Among big-name guests from the Star Wars universe, including authors, actors, and personalities, the day is going to feature some of the best content creators out there.
So you're not doing a show?
Yeah, nice. Why don't you just read your bit?
I will. Join us throughout the day for great Star Wars content for a great cause. Plus, for every donation, you'll be entered to win great prizes.
That's right.
Can I win prizes?
I don't know, AT. I feel like that might not look right.
Yep, definitely getting the motivator checked out that day.
Yeah, okay. Well, please join us and the hosts of the amazing podcast you're listening to right now for Podathon 2021. Visit atgcast.com/podathon for more information, links to donate now, and to the live stream starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on November 6th.
Hey, do you think Alex and Molly will have me on?
No, I don't think they will.
Well, I'm gonna ask them.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna call them right now.
Go for it.
No, I'm gonna.
I know
I'm on
you.
my way.
I know you are.
I'm picking up the phone.
Okay.
I'm texting them.
Hello there, and welcome to Pink Milk, your Star Wars podcast for us superfans.
And those of us who are forced to listen to them.
Today is someday, and someday we're speaking with the newest, the latest, the greatest Star Wars author.
What more do you say?
Drink up.
Drink up.
Hello there, Pop Pop.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm well.
How are you on this fine afternoon?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me today.
You're
Every
here-
week it's like a surprise.
Is it?
I'm back.
Oh, we have a
Oh.
show?
Oh my gosh. You renewed my contract.
I'll always renew your contract for this here show. Welcome to Pink Milk. I'm your host, Brian. With me, as always, is my better half and your better host,
Hello.
Thomas.
Hello.
We're all a little
Helloed.
helloed. We've been trying to record a video / trailer, and my very handsome husband is about to grace your YouTubes.
Don't show the outtakes.
Oh, we're definitely showing the outtakes.
Actually, it was a lot of fun. I'm not sure I'm quite happy with the final, but I think it's a good start.
Well, you know, that's life, though. You always have to be a little bit disappointed with your givings, right?
Well, then I must be doing it right.
But you know who's not going to be disappointed?
The Pink Milk family.
No, the children from Make-A-Wish that we will be helping alongside with the great people over at Bombad Cast and Around the Galaxy. Pete Fletcher, you just heard him at the beginning of the show. We're going on November 6th, 11 a.m.
I love November 6th. That's a great day.
It is a great day. We're gonna be talking some Star Wars Legos. There's gonna be a link down in the show notes below to donate some money to Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Awesome.
Please do it. Gays, show how much you love kids that aren't yours by donating. Because, you know, I love my children, but a lot of gays don't like the kids.
They don't?
How
We should give them our kids.
How many times?
Babysit my kids. You'll love them.
How many times? No tea, no shade to some of our friends. And we were like, we're getting our foster license. We're going to adopt children.
Why? No, literally. It's a full sentence. Why?
It sure is.
Well, I guess I won't be telling you anymore.
Nope. And no. And now look.
I don't know why. Brian told me we should.
You know, you make it sound like I am a horrible dictator in this house.
Which is so not the truth. But thank you.
Because you are.
Because I am. Well, that is a tremendous compliment. I appreciate it. I do work hard at it every day.
It's so ridiculous.
It's not a lot of work either.
If the heel fits, and these heels are 10 inches.
I don't wear any heels because the feet are way too big for that stuff. Flats all the way.
You know, speaking of heels, Star Wars Visions, the anime series that just came out that we are still living in that world. I am still...
I've heard of it, yes.
Still very much in it. Had some of the greatest heels ever shown in any Star Wars. It's amazing. That was one of the gayest statements I think I've ever made, and I've made it so many times.
No, actually, it's not. You should go back and listen to some of this stuff.
Bitch, I'm a queen, and I love it. And you know who else is a queen? Emma Meiko Candon, that I spoke to, that you're about to listen to.
Awesome.
They were amazing. Like, honestly, amazing.
I know you were on cloud 9 when you were done with the interview.
I was. I did not feel intelligent. Emma is brilliant. That's a theme, actually. When I speak to another human being, like, I never feel all that intelligent, but I try to have a good time
I think
anyways.
it's because you're so impressed and you're so appreciative and you learn every single time you speak with them, so you just come off in total awe.
Well, it's
So that's your husband speaking. That's what I see. You tell your
nice.
Story, though.
That's nice. But, I really do.
Occasionally it can be nice.
I do appreciate when people come. Like, that's a lot of time out of their day, and they come and hang out, and I feel very, very fortunate, like, how much of themselves they give to the discussion, to the talk in front of them.
I mean, if you think about it, it really is. It's a lot of time. It's coordination. It takes time.
Yeah.
I mean, they have busy schedules.
Yeah.
They have work. They have lives. They have families. It is impressive when people take the time.
And, especially when you're talking to, like, a brilliant author like Emma, and they've been doing the rounds and promoting the book and all the things that come with the job, right? Mm-hmm. You would feel like it would be so easy to dial it in. And I haven't come across that ever. And this interview is no different. Like, they were just, honestly, they were so nice.
Awesome.
It's a really great interview. I'm excited for everyone to listen to it because we learn a lot. And when you read the book, like, you will understand the amount of world building that must have gone on and really how brilliant Emma is, because there is this huge, huge, huge world that didn't exist before this book, and it's amazing.
Amazing.
It's Star Wars, but it is not the Star Wars that we know. It's like Star Wars somewhere else. We have a little discussion about it. No spoilers ahead in this interview whatsoever, because this book came out yesterday as of the day of this podcast release, and I don't like to spoil anything because I don't like to be spoiled at all. So seriously, no spoilers ahead. Are you ready, Thomas?
I'm ready, Brian.
Let's drink up.
Drink up.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome, Emma Meiko Candon. Candon, we just had a conversation. I've been saying Candon. I apologize. I'm a Southwest boy. Well, how are you on this fantastic Thursday afternoon?
I'm pretty good. Ronin's not out yet, and I'm much less of a basket case than I thought I would be. So that's great. I'm loving that. But yeah, no, I'm feeling good. Getting my day job stuff done, getting to talk with people about the book instead of having to sit on it in silence, which is also exciting. I'm very lucky to have a wife who's my first reader, so I can at the very least always go, hey, I have a new dumb joke. And she probably has one too.
The fact that we can have openly queer people writing Star Wars now is like a massive step forward. I am so happy. I am so grateful. We all know the problems that Star Wars has had from time to time. We
live our life by the message of Star Wars and have hope that it's going to get better and it's going to come. And having people like you and Justina writing books and doing the things you're doing is so empowering and impactful. And as an LGBTQ plus podcast, like I know how much I get to see it every single day in direct messages and tweets and emails of how important it is. And like, you get to be ushering this in. It's so incredible. Like I am so happy for you and proud. And like, I can't believe this day is here. And I'm really, really happy about it.
Thank you. I was very nervous about it, let me tell you, because they didn't hire me to be a queer author. They hired me to be an author of Japanese descent. And I was sitting there going, oh my God, are they going to let me get away with any of this? And I will say they said no to nothing. The story group and the editorial team were extremely welcoming and extremely nurturing and extremely happy to help me do the things I wanted to do with this book in that regard. And I was terrified. I had no idea if that would happen because, again, they didn't hire me to do that. I just did it and they said, okay. So I feel like we're in good hands these days.
I think so. I have to. It feels great. This is a perfect point to ask you, who are you? They hired who you said they wanted to hire. They got someone, not someone else. That sounds bad. They also got they got an and. So
Yes.
what are other ands to who Emma is?
Okay, so I'm 4th generation Japanese Amyonsei, based in Hawaii, and I'm mixed race. So my dad is white and my mother is Japanese. And Yonsei is interesting as a position because there's a lot of sort of cultural trauma and intentional disenfranchisement of culture in Japanese populations across the US, just as a side effect of World War II. So, you get from 1st generation Issei, like having very much firm roots in Japan. And then the Nisei generation is the one where a lot of people after Pearl Harbor happened, they enlisted. And I see that very much as a trauma response. And that they also raised their children to be very detached from Japanese culture in a lot of ways. Because again, trauma response, no, we're good Americans, it's fine. And as a consequence, my mother speaks no Japanese at all. And I learned all of my Japanese in school. So yeah,
Wow.
so that's the kind of Japaneseness I'm bringing to Ronin, which is something I've thought about a lot because I really think someone who has closer temporal generational ties to Japan would write a completely different visions book. And I do want to read that, but like mine is just in a different place consequently. And it's also very shaped by, again, my queerness, which I came into when I was a teen, I guess. I was also always very desperate to be okay and chill about it. And I think I obviously had some anxiety because it took me time to come out to my parents. But I was a little determined to be just fine with it. And I had the fortune and luck where I could basically get away with that. But that's because negative emotions are terrifying and we don't like to have those. So the other thing I talk about is that I'm chronically ill. In 2012, I caught a virus while I was teaching in Japan, and it made me so terribly sick that I was hospitalized for the next 6 months. I almost died in a number of different times and ways. And the sort of bleak humor about it now is that I don't have to explain as much about it these days because the thing that happened to me is the worst case scenario we have seen across the world for the past year and a half, where your lungs fail and you're on a respirator and potentially also on ECMO. And that was me for 4 months. And I did survive. My doctors were able to save my life. And the nurses, the other healthcare worker involved in that. But it's had a lasting impact on my body in a number of ways. You hear me cough, that's why. I have 50% of my lungs. They saved my life with steroids, massive amounts of steroids, and that can rot your bones. So I have cyborg hips. But yeah, so like that's all me. I also think I'm funny. So that's another
Judging
Emma
off
thing.
your, I love it. That's very obvious with your Twitter and any interviews that people have already listened to. It's very clear and it's very evident. And it's great. It's great. You just radiate like this ball of sunshine out of everything you do, and it's so refreshing.
Oh, I'm
And
glad.
I think there are parts of this book with we're not going to be talking any spoilers. So by the time this episode comes out, the
No
book just came out
spoilers.
yesterday. Just came out yesterday if you're listening to this on the day of release. So I want to make sure, because I know as a listener, I would not want to hear those things, but I would want to get to know you. So we're going to get this out. But I will say, and it's really no spoiler because we've all probably seen The Duel by now, and it's got some darkness to it. So I find that sometimes it takes the brightest people to be able to write some of the darkest things, because like it's an interesting contradictory to things I find in people.
It's funny you say that, because when they first offered me this character, my first thought was like, oh boy, okay, how am I going to work with this? But very wonderfully, the original script, which I got very early on by Mitsuyasu Sakai, it has humor in it. It establishes that the Ronin is a funny man. I was like, thank God. Okay, I can do this.
And it's such great humor too. And maybe like I find it to be, and this is probably because I'm queer and this is the lens in which I see everything, but the dude's got some sass. He's got like, at least
Oh, yeah.
and now we've seen the show. So that's the voice that at least I'm reading the book through, right? I'm like, he's got that dry sass wit about him that is so great. And I'm like, oh,
He does.
here for it. Here for it. I'm gonna kick some butt. I'm gonna look good doing it. I'm also gonna have time for tea. Like all these perfectly queer things. This is what we do. It's so great.
I agree.
It's so awesome. Do you have a Star Wars story? Like, where in Star Wars were you before this opportunity came?
Oh, my relationship with Star Wars? What was it like? So I fell deep into it when I was very young, around 7, just because it was on the television at some point. And I just, from there, went to the libraries locally and read everything I could get my hands on. I went to Borders. I was reading their little encyclopedias of 100 characters, and that would guide me to more stories. And then I think, and I devotedly went to every single movie that came out. But I had kind of fallen off the boat of consuming anything else besides that. I did watch most of the Clone Wars cartoon in 2015, 2016 while I was in grad school, and I needed time to decompress. But I just, other than the movies, that was mostly it. I was paying attention to Dr. Aphra because her existence just made me very, very happy. And then when Alyssa Long, who I have adored her writing for years, and then when she was put on it, I was like, this is going to be good. And
she did not fail.
Yeah, I've had the fortune of befriending her over the past year or so, and I love her. I love everything she does with Everett. That's like my happy place. But I'm playing catch up with Star Wars right now because being asked to come in and do Ronin, which is sort of like canon adjacent, was a bit of a relief because it meant I really didn't have to look anything up unless I wanted to. And I did look up a bunch of things on Wikipedia,
Yeah.
but there was a lot of canon that I had very piecemeal knowledge of. So I've always adored Star Wars, but I used to consume it much more ravenously. And I'm getting back into it now because it feels so welcoming.
There is and if you find yourself in gay Star Wars, like talk about welcoming and so great. Like I feel very fortunate. I talk about this. Like my Twitter experience, like for the most part, is really great. And it's because it's mostly gay Star Wars. And then the ones that aren't gay love the gays. So it's just like, I'm like, this is perfect. Like this is perfect. And I think I mentioned this, and I'm going to go off script already and throw a question at you. Like as queer people, I wonder if because we are unfortunately rejected by so many early on, found family is a very queer thing that we learn to get over certain things that some people should be able to, but they either can't or oftentimes won't. But we have to be able to see past certain things because we're all the rejected ones. And that big unifier overcomes everything else. And I really feel that it helps us as people be more open to other kinds of people. And there's so many different kinds of people in the LGBTQ plus community anyways, that, like we're all here together because if we're not together, then we're like a rebellion. We all have to come together to overpower the greater threat out there. What are your thoughts on that?
It's interesting because I wrote in my master's for clinical psych, I wrote my thesis on in-groups on the internet, and I wrote both about the way they are user-led, which is to say it's just a bunch of people coming together out of a shared need, and also the tendency in these groups to grow aggressive within the group. And not everybody does it, but it's almost inevitable that somebody does. And this is, you frequently see this with people who are marginalized, because of their queerness or because of their race or because of their illness. Because one of the first groups I was studying was actually a group of breast cancer survivors. And when I brought up this theory and this project to a professor, he was like, I saw this happen in my Power Tools forum. It's just, I really feel like it has to be a holistic examination of both. Like, I think it's very shallow and non-useful to say, well, on the internet, people just get mean to each other, because the thing is, these people are only talking to each other because they have a shared need for connection and a desire to connect. So how does that turn into like the toxicity of call out culture? And that was what I was looking at there. So when I'm in these spaces and I'm just feeling so much warmth, I'm just so grateful that it feels like an area, or like the parts of fandom that I've been in, when I see the notorious discourse, it's like a shadow passing on the wall. I'm like, not everybody's doing it. Some of us know better.
Yep.
And that's very hopeful for me, because a lot of the time when I think about that thesis, I was convinced in 2016 that it would be an extinct phenomenon by the time I was done, but it just got stronger. So my theory was that what we needed in order to suppress it was stronger moderation or stronger norms of etiquette. And I think what I see in this fandom that I'm dipping my toe into is a stronger sense of etiquette of like, if you have a thing to say, you say it, but you don't necessarily crawl up someone's butt to do it. And if you do, everybody knows that's a very naughty thing you did. So
Yep.
I don't know, it feels like a fandom that's been around long enough to work out those kinks and be able to recognize them and go, no, you're misbehaving. We don't do that here.
I love it. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think, yeah, I think you and I probably have a similar experience online with that stuff. I was very new to all of it. I like, am just old enough to have just kind of missed a lot of it. Like even in college, like the idea of texting, I was like, wait, what? Why would you text? You could just pick up the phone and call. And now I have friends, like all my co-hosts that I've never met in real life. And I have text message friends that I don't know. Like I maybe met them in passing somewhere years ago. And now it's just text message friends. It's so crazy. So yeah, but I do feel that I didn't learn about the bad side of Twitter until I was kind of told about it. And maybe, when I had a bad experience, I was like, oh, I just either ignore it or unfollow them. And I just chalked it up to that one person. And then the longer as I was like, oh, there's more than one person,
Hmm.
but there doesn't have to be. Like that choice is on me, whether or
Yeah.
not that.
Yeah. I was comparing it the other day to living in an apartment in Hawaii, which is what I do. And sometimes when you live in an apartment in Hawaii, a roach gets in. And these are big mother effers. They fly. I hate them. I have a phobic reaction. I scream and exit the room. However, they're not allowed in my apartment. And that's the deal. They have to go outside. I don't go hunting them down when they're outside. But when they're in here, they get the boot. And that's
Yep.
either literal or it's metaphorical. There's no in between. So, you let me be in my apartment, I let you be outside.
That's such a great. Oh my god, I love that. That's the greatest thing. So great. We have like rattlesnakes and scorpions out here where I live. I'm going to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that I'm just going to have that approach. You stay out here,
Yeah.
and if
No,
I'm
you
hiking,
you have to.
yeah, I love it. So,
Yeah.
do you have a favorite Star Wars character that you think reflects some of this ideology that you share?
It's funny because I was looking at that question and I was thinking that's so rough because I don't think I gravitate toward characters so much as
Okay.
concepts or scenarios. I'm kind of meta in that way. But at the same time, when you put it like that, I had a very, very instant, strong emotional reaction to both True and Baze. And I credit this with being the moment when I had the body resonance understanding of, oh, representation. And
Okay.
it was definitely in part like, oh, okay, there's some East Asian stuff going on here. But I was also watching it with my wife and we're whispering to each other almost immediately, oh my God, they're married. And so just being able to read that onto characters in the context of a movie that was Star Wars was, I think, it really anchored in me in a way. So
Mhm.
I'm very fond of them. They just made such an impression on me.
Yeah, they're really great. And yeah, I like that question because I think Star Wars is personal for a lot of people. There's a lot of just popcorn viewers too, but this thing has not been
Hmm.
around for 40 plus years because it's just a movie you go see once in a while. Like that's just not what it's about, right?
Hmm.
Um, and I do like the longer I've been doing this and ask that question, which is a pretty basic question for a Star Wars podcast, but like I have come to understand that like I think they're usually reflections of the people behind them, and that's what's interesting to me is like what is someone's favorite character? Tell me about them. Because it's usually a one for one, you know what I mean? And I find it really, really interesting. Um, and I think the idea that you're connected to like the greater thing around is very apparent in your book. And it is so rich. Like I am a sucker for the world building. And maybe it's because like I have an anthropology background. So how society like how society forms the person that's living in it and vice versa, like how those two things dance together is so fascinating. And I think as a entire lifetime Star Wars fan to hop in, and this one of the things I love about Visions, and like, but this book had the time, and you're talented enough to bring it to another level of like, oh my god, it's like so new, and I can just let go of what I know and let this new world in and experience it all over again through someone else's eyes. And that's like, it's so exciting to me. Like, I am not someone, I don't get hooked on canon, what's not canon. I know some people do, and like, respect to that. But for me, like, if that is something that you're really into, then let it just be the world that this person sees it through. And like, it can be just as much, it can be just very canon. And this is just how these characters view the world. And it's so liberating, and it builds the greater story so much bigger. And it's so, oh God, I am so excited about Star Wars again. Like, well, not that I ever haven't been, but like between this and Visions was already there. And then, I'm lucky enough to have been able to read this book. And it is just like stoked this fire in me all over again, because I think like there's new Star Wars out there. There's new, and it's coming. And like we mentioned at the beginning of this, there's different kinds of people sitting at the table. And I have faith. And hearing you say they said no to nothing and they're open, and you're excited about what's happening behind the scenes is just like, it just fills my heart with like so much joy. And it's just so great. It's so great.
Yeah. No, it's funny you say you're an anthropology background, so am I.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah. I did anthropology in undergrad and then betrayed it for psych in grad school. But
The
that's
moral
very much-
animal.
yeah. It's
I
very
don't
much
remember
what I'm
who wrote the
thinking
book.
about. Yeah.
No, well, okay. It's apparent. It's so great. Like I was a physical anthropologist. I mostly studied human evolution and non-human primate evolution, and did a lot of primatology. I spent so much time at zoos looking at apes and monkeys, but I think, and then I almost went back to school for a religious studies major, and I was going to look into like ancient Hinduism and the Indus River Valley civilization and all that stuff. So I'm like, I'm really interested in those foundations of what gets us where. And there's so much of that in this. And there's so much rich, I could probably make this, and like, we could probably talk for like 10 hours, because I just want to know what's going on inside of this mind of yours, because there's so much more than what makes it into a book. There's so much more that you have to be able to do before you can even get your first like little letter on a page, and it's so, oh God, it's so good. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna be over here.
No, I'm sorry. I really encourage anyone who feels like there's something in this that's really interesting to them to go digging in Japanese history and also Japanese narrative and Japanese folklore, because almost the entirety of the foundations came from the fact that I looked at the duel and I thought, okay, Jidaigeki is very interesting, especially in the context of both the history it's talking about and the history during which it was being made, because those are always in conversation with each other, right? And also the relationship that Japan had with the United States at that time, and also like politically, and also the cross-pollination of the narratives that went back and forth between their movie industries, and cycling all the way to the present day with this anime rendition of Star Wars. And this book is an extension of that. So choosing the duel to be the one that they wanted me to write about meant that we were very firmly rooted in that tradition, and everything about the book is just an extrapolation of what they have illustrated in this moment, and going, okay, well, if this man is a Ronin and he's a Sith, what does that imply about the rest of his world? and using the undergirding things that were going on both historically in the portraits they're painting and historically in the people who are doing the painting to create that kind of narrative. So yeah, there's a lot to read. I read it too.
That is I wish I knew how to save tweets. I don't know how to do that. I'm not skilled in Twitter, but you posted and I retweeted it once. So I guess I could go back through, but you posted like a really long thread about some of these things. It was so it was so good. It's so great. So I hope you continue to do this. Like I hope like that we can do that.
There's some other things I could definitely talk about, and I should actually write down some of them now because I keep on thinking it and not doing it.
So you had mentioned earlier how like concepts and themes and all that is what really gets you going.
Yes.
What themes and all of that in Star Wars did you bring in to Ronin? What were some of the things that maybe do you feel you brought in anything like as just that? Or did you bring in everything and then turn it a little?
So, yes, I am very attracted to sort of the meta element of a story structure. And there were a lot of things that I wanted to have a conversation with in Star Wars. And this book was kind of the perfect opportunity through which to do that because of, again, the ideas that have already been established in the duel and the ideas that are present in Jidaigeki. Because I love Star Wars, but as I've grown older, there was a moment where I had the realization of, oh, it's Star Wars. It's always about the wars. How do I feel about that? And the answer was not great. And so, however, because and another thing, that's going on is that like Star Wars has that narrative of the Empire and the Rebellion, and it's interesting that it's so adored in the United States, where we have that narrative sort of in our cultural mindset, but the place of the United States in the world today is not the scrappy underdog. It's not the rebellion by any means. So I kept on wondering, well, then what does it mean to have a Star Wars that maybe is more reflective of what our lives are today? And I think it's interesting because someone I was chatting to pointed out that there is a resonance with A New Hope with Luke right in the beginning, where he thinks the Empire is his ticket off of Tatooine. He literally says that. And that's a factor of he's not rebelling, he's just living under Empire. He falls into a position of going, oh, wait, maybe I don't like this. Maybe I've always like kind of not liked it, but I've never thought there was anything I could do about it. But he's still a citizen of it. And so just emphasizing that in this story, the idea that everybody here is a citizen of the Empire, and they all have differing opinions because some people are very cool with it. Some people are very not. Some people are just like, I don't like it, but what am I going to do? And it just felt more in step with talking about the Japan that's portrayed in the Jidaigeki, which is the shogunate or imperial Japan and their relationship with each other, which is still essentially both feudal, right? This idea that there are lords, and that's a position that you do not access unless you are born into it, and they are the ones with power. And that's the world of, therefore, Ronin, because it's the world of the original genre. And it was just a really nice way of asking that question about Star Wars as a whole through the lens of the genre that originated it in a lot of ways. And similarly, I also got to ask a lot of questions about violence and what is perceived as the inevitable violence, right? And, arguably violence is inevitable if you are oppressing people, because there's no way to make the oppressor give up their power other than to say, you don't get to have that anymore, because they will never willingly cede it. But at the same time, when violence is occurring, it hurts everyone who commits it. And I'm less interested in the people who are committing it to preserve their power than the ones who are committing it to rescue some of their autonomy, but it still hurts you when you do it. So that was something I didn't know that I'd ever get to do in Star Wars, but they let me do for a whole book.
I'm really, really, really glad you just shared that story, because I think that is a part of the representation that isn't talked about so often, because it's difficult, because it's big, and you just have this amazing ability to write the big. And I'm really, really, I'm really happy that that's there, because I think you're bringing a conversation that needs to be had in a way that Star Wars hasn't been able to have it yet. In this conversation with you've mentioned before that you've poured yourself into this, and I'm hearing you verbalize so much what's going on. It's, man, that's some brave stuff. That
You're
it's
asking
not
the
easy.
questions that unearth it.
No. But yeah, I think it's good to have. I don't love this expression, but it's good to have that kind of skin in the game. You know what I mean? We're here, we have an opportunity to say some things, and we're going to say it. And the fact that they, I mentioned this, I feel like I'm going to keep going back to it, but Lucasfilm let you have it. And, and I feel it is important, especially being in gay Star Wars, because there's a lot of some frustration when we see things and people get so mad and they're like, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. But it sounds like it's starting to happen, and that's good. I hope, you know what I mean?
I think the Del Rey folks and the story group are fully here to support. I brought some of this neurosis to Alyssa Wong at one point. I went, help. And she was like, all right, they've been very good with me. And I was like, okay, thank God. Because I was waiting on feedback from the story group, and I was, again, terrified. But, so I don't know. I think in print media, we're doing pretty well. It's a different kind of game they're playing elsewhere. But over here, when we push, we've gotten what we wanted.
I love it. We just need one of you on the other side. But I feel like, I guess I'm hopeful that yes, it's in the print, and it will. I have faith that it's going to get there. I have faith that it's going to get there. And people, more people are demanding it. I've said this before. I think what is being misunderstood, and this is from my experience, and this is just really from this podcast, but I think there is a misunderstanding of how many, we're just going to stick to the queer representation. That's my lane. That's where I can speak to. I think there's a misunderstanding to how many people who do not identify as queer also want to see it. I think we are getting there, and I feel like that's the part that it's not clicking. It's not clicking in sometimes in a greater conversation. It isn't just us that wants to see it anymore, and that's what it's going to take to get it there, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, I guess. But speaking of queer things, you've said that you wanted to put a lot of queer rep in this, right? You wanted to tell your story, and this is part of your story.
Yes.
How were you able to accomplish that?
Yes. Again, no spoilers. But I was told by different people at different points pretty early on into both. I was told during the editing process, and I was told by a couple very early reviewers, I think this is the queerest book they've put out. So like, hooray, I guess. I guess I did it.
If you're everyone's just listening to this, I'm nodding my head very vigorously, because yes.
it's more than one. uh, so yeah. Again,
What
I didn't know I'd get away with it, but I did.
like did you have a backup plan? Like if they said
No.
no, there you go. Oh,
No, I
your
didn't.
focus determines your reality. There we go.
I didn't know. I think my backup plan would have been to go running to my agent, Caitlin. I know too many Caitlins. Why am I blank? Caitlin McDonald.
Yeah.
I've known her since college. I can't believe that happened. But this has not happened to me. But I know some of my agent siblings have run into situations where their publisher has said, "Oh, could you do this but less queerly?" And Caitlin has again and again put her foot down. At one point, one of our agencies was like, "I just imagined the John Cena theme playing every time she has to go into someone's inbox." So I think my backup plan was to go help.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, well, like I said, like Qui-Gon said, your focus determines your reality. And there you go. There was no other plan, so that's what was gonna happen. Right? Hopefully. What was the most challenging part of this? If they said yes to almost everything, like what were the other challenges? When you're writing a
Um,
Star Wars, that's got to be a little scary at the beginning, at least, anyways. Because
um, there is an element of time, but everyone who does IP work knows that the time crunch is real and almost inevitable. And so certainly that was an element. I asked for studio notes from Kamikaze Dolga, and they came to me actually kind of piecemeal. Like there were some things they told me way in the beginning, and then there were other things that they told me much later. And I was thinking, okay, we're gonna do this. I wish I had known about this before because I would have changed how I did some things, but we're gonna make it work. And no spoilers, so I won't say what it is. But there was one thing that we were changing even during past pages when it's all laid out and you're looking for those final typos and you're doing any last changes. And you kind of don't want to be doing changes to the degree and size that we were doing at that point. But we had to. And it worked out. But I was laughing the whole time because at that point it's like, okay, we got to do it. It's going to get done. It's very funny that this is happening to us right now. We're going to make it.
is this a fake it till you make it moment?
No, I think
like a fake it in like
I'm
gonna laugh myself into this.
I naturally laugh a lot at things. I think I joked earlier. I don't like to experience the negative emotions. So I bottle that shit up. But also, I think I'm just a naturally kind of a buoyant person. So when things, and I don't know if you've had experience with this, but my wife and I like to joke about how when we travel, one or the other of us is always very stressed out. And once that happens, the other one immediately goes into like, I'm in control. I've got everything handled. You're fine. And we go back and forth about it. But it's almost like that's happening. Like it's a job. So it's not stressful. It's funny. Like this is deeply hysterical. I will be able to tell stories about this later.
That's the key, right? That is exactly what I do in those situations. I'm like, you know what? Right now, this is not funny. But this will pass, and then it's going to be hilarious. So let me just hold on to the funny moment right now because it's going to be really funny later.
Yeah.
No, I love reading your tweets about your wife too. Like, I mean, I feel very, very lucky. Like, I found my person, and somehow we are like, oh, in one week we will be together for 14 years. 1 week from today.
Congratulations in advance.
Thank you. Thank you. But like I feel we are so fortunate because it's an unspoken when I'm here, he's there. And then once he gets there, I'm there. And it
Yeah.
is effortless. I don't know what it is. There's no communication. It has always been that way. Like out in 14 years, our relationship has been easy and it has been
Yeah.
fun through the entire foster system process, which is not easy or fun. But somehow, because we were in it together, like it just worked. And like it's I love hearing and reading those kinds of tweets. And again, I've mentioned, but as a queer person who never dreamt a day I would get this life that I have, it was just not going to be afforded to me. That's what it was. But here we are, and here it is. And
Mhm.
that was one of the reasons, honestly, that we started the podcast. Because I was like, you know what? My husband and I have a really, really great relationship. And I want to go out there and show all those people who said no for so long that it wasn't what you thought it was. And we can have a really happy, healthy relationship and just kind of show like we can have this too. It's the same as yours, but we're also like, it was time to show like a really positive side of that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I feel your Twitter does so much of that. And because you speak about your wife all the time, and it's so great.
I try to be a little bit hands off with my personal life, just
Mhm.
because again I did that whole psych study on like here's what social media can do to you. It can be a very joyous place, but it can also be dangerous. So be careful. So sometimes I'll think I love my wife. I'm going to tell the world. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
They don't have to know that. She gets to know
Yeah.
that. But it depends. And like, oh, I love her. She's very good. We're gonna go see Shang-Chi and probably stop by Spirit Halloween this weekend, and I'm very excited about that.
Well, judging from the back and your your Twitter pictures of shopping of lovelies and skulls everywhere,
Yeah, my
Spirit
cheap gaudy
Halloween's.
skull collection.
I love it. I love it. What is? Have you had a favorite part of this experience? Like, what has been your favorite?
um, the whole thing feels like something I could not even have dreamt of before they offered it to me. It's so like I guess it was around a year ago. Well, I heard about it in the beginning of December. So I think around now was the point where I knew Star Wars was looking for someone of Japanese descent to write a book, and my agent sent them my sample. So I had no idea what the project was. I just knew like, oh, maybe they're doing something with a Japanese character. Um, but the nature of Visions is so transcendently new and so perfectly resonant with the kinds of things I like to do that
Mhm.
it's like and I just never imagined it was a thing they would do. Now I want them to do it again with other cultures or other stuff. Like, where's Star Wars Vision Queer Edition? But uh I just it the whole thing, every time I sat there and thought about the fact that I was getting to contribute to this iterative relationship, and this is the nature of mythology, one, which is magical, and two, my place in this iterative relationship, like being mixed race, being fourth generation, being all these other things that are marginalized and non normative, like it's just so special. I like that. I like that I was able to put all of that stuff in it, you know? I was even able to put in the relationship of sometimes my body just doesn't work too good.
Mhm.
Um,
Wow.
yeah. So the fact that it is a personal project in Star Wars is in itself like in its entirety. Every time I had that realization, I'm still very grateful for it. That's the only word I have, because it's gratitude that it happened at all, and that I got to take part in it.
That's amazing, and it's like I just love to hear that. Like it's so great because you feel it when you're reading it, and you feel it when in this conversation. Like you're very rooted, and it's interesting. And now, you know, you mentioned the mythology, and now we're kind of changing the mythology. Like, and it's really nice that all of this is happening because, again, like I mentioned towards the beginning, Star Wars has been around for so long. Society has changed. It changed society, and then society changed because of it. And now society's changing again, and it's time for Star Wars to kind of change and adapt. And this does open the doors for other cultures coming in and introducing their flair. And regardless if this is in quotes the canon or not canon or canon adjacent, however you want to describe it, it's Star Wars, and all of these things will affect one another. And right now, it is doing things, and you are doing things that are changing, and it's going to make waves. And you've now changed the mythology that has shaped so many people. Um, and you get to share your story to do that. Like that is just it is mind bending to me. So I can only imagine how it must feel inside of that beautiful head of yours. Like
It's tremendous.
it's
It's difficult to hold all at once, and that's why, again, it hits me sometimes, and I just have to sit there for a bit and go, huh.
yep. Yeah, I can. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I remember. I mean, the closest thing I have to be able to relate to that is when Jack showed up on our door, and it was just it all like I felt like in that very moment, the times I got beat up, the times I was spit on, the times I was like shoved, but I marched right back, and it was all for this moment. And then it was 8 o'clock at night, and there's this little 7-year-old boy at my door, and then at the same time, none of that mattered anymore. Like it just didn't matter anymore, and it all left for this gratitude that you were speaking. Like, and it was too much. And here I am, 5 years later, it's still too much sometimes. And I'm like, I need to like back away because like I don't, there are certain people that will just I don't think can understand that the fight that so many of us have to go through. And then the moment when there's a payoff for that fight, whether it's like in a personal life, whether it's just being able to legally be married to someone, or it's a professional milestone that, and it's a professional milestone also culturally and very personally. Like it is, there's so much there that's not just this, and it's so rad.
Yeah. Thank you. Again, it's been very special.
Yeah. 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 And thank you for sharing that with so many other people. Thank you for fighting, and thank you for having an exit plan and a yell for help, and not, like not, no, this is the story that needs to be told because it you're speaking to a lot of people who haven't spoken to in this fandom
Yeah.
specifically, and that's so thank you. I mean, thank you
Yeah.
for all of that.
I was
It's amazing.
thinking about, um so, like, I loved Star Wars from the time when I was very young, and I would play pretend. When I was playing pretend, I was doing Star Wars, and I would assign characters to my friends, and they had never heard of this. But watching from the moment of watching Force Awakens, and the way, and like from the first trailers when they introduced John Boyega as Finn, and then that first moment when you meet Rey in that cavernous Star Destroyer, it was just so full of moments when I felt like Star Wars as a franchise understood that someone like me existed. And it was just this cascading series of moments when I went, oh, you know about this. You can conceive of the fact of me. And that's made the sequel era very special to me. And as a consequence, I was like, I really want to give more of that feeling to other people because I'm one of you.
Yep.
I also have had these moments of recognition. And if I can deliver that to other people, then that's what better thing could I do with a Star Wars?
Mm-hmm. Look at that. That's really beautiful. And it is, I remember I've heard you mention how much you love the sequel trilogy. And in having this conversation
Yeah.
and hearing you like, I love the meta, I love all that stuff. The sequel
Yeah.
trilogy is so incredibly meta. Like I love how self-aware it is.
Yes.
And I love the feeling. It's a very tactile feeling when you're watching them of the pressure that was put on them. Like you
Yes.
feel it and it's really interactive and it's a Star Wars story that we had never been told before, you know? And it's, you know, one of my favorite things was like honestly was Cranky Luke, and I know a lot of people had problems with that, but
Oh no, I love Uncle Luke so much.
yeah, like
it felt so honest to the character, and I understand that it hurt a lot of people because like their relationship with Luke as a character was as someone who found a kind of personal salvation. But I was like, oh, but he's old and traumatized and depressed, and I love him. I need him to have a
yes.
nap.
You know, for me, I just related to it of like,
Yeah.
you know, I grew up loving the Jedi too. And then I got the prequels. And I'm like, oh.
I rewatched the
And
prequels recently. I think they've a very masterful underlying structure.
I think it I mean, I believe in George as a storyteller, and I think it was very intentional. And I think it was
Yeah.
brilliant what he did. And here I
Oh,
was a little baby
yeah.
gay coming out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and Luke had that realization of, oh my God, this thing that I held for so long was really flawed. And I put everything, I lost everything. I lost the parents that raised me. I lost my first mentor. I lost my physical father before I even got to know him. And that's what, and then I moved into this. I moved myself into this church because this church was supposed to be my savings grace. But then the church rejected me because I'm different. And we don't know what made him different yet. Like that's a story yet to be told, I hope. But then he was rejected, and that was such a personal.
Yeah. Did you see the announcement today about the new Luke and Lando book? I am excited in a way I didn't expect to be, but I am.
I cannot wait to you had this character in Lando who was very full of himself, right? Did really well for himself. Then had to sell out this person. And we met Lando. He wasn't afraid of selling out people, but he wasn't going to sell out people to that level, to what he had to do. And he was like stuck in this like two really horrible choices of what to do. And he had to do something. I tend to believe that he had enough faith in Han and the people around him that they were going to be able to get out of it. He's like, you know what? My people can't get out of this, but Han's going to be able to. So I have to go over here, all the while knowing I'm also going to help Han out, right? And so that was this thing because then we meet Lando again and he's lighter. And then we meet him in The Rise of Skywalker and he's like this big Papa Bear and he's so great. And he's filled with so much more optimism and joy than we had ever seen Lando. And we left Luke, who was this whiny, turned to optimism, saw optimism kind of slap him in the face. And then we saw what that did to him. So you see these two characters who, as a fandom, hold on these different sides, and then they kind of swapped. So how are we going to get there? And I hope you have that discussion.
Ooh, I'm excited. I really want to see what that dynamic is. It's just very. If you had told me this morning, I mean, like I did learn this morning, but I I didn't understand what my physical reaction to that was going to be. Just increasing amounts of joy. The more I thought about it, the better it gets.
Yeah, and we have the Lando show coming out at some point in time. Like there is so. I mean, I have never left Star Wars. I've loved it, and I'm telling you, this new wave and what you've helped bring in, and what Vision's helped bring in, it really has just. I really can't explain how excited I am by this newness. Like, I embrace it so much. And I really hope everybody else is embracing it because it's just making everything so rich. And it's back to what are they going to do next? Like now we really don't know what's going to happen. Like we don't know. And I'm like, oh, I mean, they're hitting stuff out of the park. I mean, they made a darn Boba Fett show. I mean, I like Boba Fett because his costume's awesome. I have Boba Fett everywhere. I am an 80s kid. And, I was a little boy in the 80s. I love Boba Fett because he had a rocket pack. But that was it. And then I was like, I don't want a show. And then I met Boba Fett and Mandalorian. I was like, oh my, well, actually I met Boba Fett in the Clone Wars. I was like, oh, this is pretty incredible. They're not going to do anything with this again. But here we are. Star Wars is feeding us so much. It's so exciting.
Oh gosh, the content's so good.
It really, 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 really is. So when is your next book coming out? Because of course you can tell me all of these things. You're writing a new movie. You're doing all of these things, right? You're going to help us.
Ronin's out by the time this comes out. It's out. It's out there. Hello. Imagine I'm saying hello to you from the pages. My next book is scheduled right now for summer 2023. It is called The Archive Undying, and it is about divine AIs in a post-apocalypse, and there are giant robots made of bones and fraught queer romance, and everybody's funny and a little bit mean, but mostly funny. It's that sass.
I was going to say the definition of being queer.
Yeah, funny mean queers. I'm editing it right now. I have a deadline in January for my editor, and then it'll be a duology. So look forward to that.
I'm here for it. I am here for all of that. And I can't wait for
thing. It's the thing that got me this job, because when I was writing it, I was thinking, now write this in such a way that it's sort of your thesis statement for why you should get to write a Star Wars book. And it worked. So
now that you've done this and you're excited about Star Wars and the future of Star Wars, let's go out on this question, because I'm not going to keep you all day. What do you want next from Star Wars? Can I make this a two-parter? Maybe I'm going to save one because you can't answer that. What do you want next from Star Wars? Where do you want it to go?
Where do I want it to go?
Or what do you want to see?
What do I want to see? I want, oh my God, give me a Dr. Aphra show. I mean, God, she has the dynamism to own that. Yeah, I also want more with Qi'ra and Baze if they're willing to do that. Obviously, I'm very fond of them. Be nice enough to John Boyega to convince him to come back, because he was amazing.
Yeah, I'm with you. And there was rumors at one point in time for an Aphra series that was going to be allegedly animated. And a Dr. Aphra animated series can get so weird and so ridiculous that you you just couldn't do in live action.
Yeah.
Like I am here for a Dr. Aphra cartoon.
Yes,
like straight up.
100%.
Tentacle monsters everywhere. All of the tentacle monster jokes that come along with tentacle monsters. I'm here for all of it. Let's do it.
God. She's so dreadful. I love her so much. Their supporting cast is really good and queer too. I love it.
Yeah, I'm I'm a huge droids fan.
The only character of whom I compulsively buy merch is K2.
Yeah.
I have my K2 mug over there. I've got my K2 action figure over there. I've got my K2 shirts.
Love it. Yeah, K2 and L3 came out of nowhere. So good.
I just wish they had given L3 more to do. Like, I just wanted more of her. Like, can this movie be about her? I'll watch that movie forever.
I think I hope we get it. I hope so. Yes. I also just want to watch her walk because I loved her walk.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it was so great. All right. Where can people find you, my friend? Where can people find you?
I'm mostly on Twitter. Of all the social medias, I'm not super heavily on social media. But on Twitter, I am Emma Candon, EMMACANDON. On Instagram and Tumblr, I am mcandon, EMCANDON. And I've also just started a newsletter because I was lightly bullied into it. But I will be probably talking more about the kinds of stuff that I was just writing down, like, oh, I should do a Twitter thread on that, like the one I did on anime, and then more on Jidaigeki. And I have some thoughts about like the aesthetic choices I made in Ronin. I think that would probably be a pretty good, maybe a series of things about the way I decided to create visuals in the book outside of the duel and the context in which it existed. And it's funny because my mom's read it. She was able to instantly identify one of the things that I had put into it. I was like, you're right, Mom.
I love it. That's awesome. I did subscribe to your blog. I'm very excited.
Oh,
your
okay.
first post was very cute and
Newsletter,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah. It was
Okay,
great.
cool.
Well, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you. I know so many more people appreciate you. Thank you for fighting for us and giving us a voice and using it. It's you're helping. Yeah, I love it. I'm sorry. I've been glowing this whole thing and probably I'm very unprofessional, but I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate everything that this book is doing and what the story is doing. And I can't wait for more. It's gonna be great.
Oh, hooray. Thank you. It's I wrote it very intentionally to make it a gift to the people with whom I share my life. Like, I recognize you. Hello. This is for
Love
you.
And
You know what? We're back. Welcome back.
we're every time we get to this, Tom is like, I am ready to be done. We're back. Let's get it over with.
Welcome back.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
See ya. Thanks for coming on the journey.
And you know what? This really was a journey with Emma because they were amazing.
I know you were totally like on cloud nine all week leading up to it and after.
Post it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Sometimes it's a burden to hold on to all this excitement that you emit when these things happen because I can't tell anybody. I know, really, I can't tell anybody.
I know, and you do. I mean, I'm so sorry.
so
honey.
many people
I'm going to
to
hold
tell.
your hands. I am so
I mean,
sorry.
it just, I knew about it during the live stream and everything, and I couldn't tell a soul. That's why it didn't come.
I am so sorry to put these burdens on you.
Oof, they're heavy.
There's got to be a Bible, something or other in there about burdens and weights. And I mean, imagine if you talked to God and you couldn't tell anyone you talked to God because you might be stoned to
I
death.
did talk to God about this. He said, don't worry about it. You're a cute little Irish Catholic boy. You'll be fine. Just carry the burden.
You know what, God? You're wrong.
It's your cross.
You're wrong. He's hot and he's very handsome. Maybe that's the devil talking. I don't know.
That must be because we have our 14-year anniversary coming up this week.
This week, 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was in my 20s. He was in his 30s. We're neither of those
As a
things
matter
now.
of fact, this comes out the day before.
It does. It does. It does.
Hun, this is my gift to you for happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
And if it's like our walk, anything this morning, my extra 40 pounds that I put on, my gift to you.
You did not put 40 pounds
Yeah,
on
100
in the past year.
100
But we were talking
in the last
about since
14
we
years.
met.
Yeah, I was 119 pounds.
119.
Disgusting. Awful.
You look fantastic.
I don't think I did.
You wouldn't be here.
I was like a wet noodle out there, like.
But the interesting thing is we've both, on average, 40 pounds
Yep.
since
That's what 2 decades does to you, people. Any of y'all listening in your 20s?
3 kids,
in your
4
20s?
dogs.
We're your future.
Welcome.
Children of
It's a great future. It's just a little heavier.
and a little bit slower. Maybe a little bit
But I think we
achier.
look great.
You do. You look
You do.
Oh, thank you. Emma, you looked great too.
And thank you for being on our journey.
Thank you for being on our journey. Thank you. Honestly, I really do hope I didn't fanboy out too much. I hope I didn't make you uncomfortable by my fanboying out because I'm just very excited. I love the book.
He loved you.
Honestly, all of it. I love this. Love this book. I can tell you, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, mostly Twitter, at Serving Pink Milk. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to rate, write, review, all of the things.
Not me, though.
He's all mine. Tens
Across the
board. And until next week, Thomas, you ready?
I'm ready.
It's that time. Drink up.
Drink up and read up. The new book.